Hello everyone, Agion here with another Company Heroes 2 replay. So on the north side, as the OKW player, we have Kaiser, or Caesar. If you played Fallout New Vegas, you understand the Kaiser reference. So on the south side, as a Soviet player, we have Hon3ynuts. Hon3ynuts actually posted this replay on the CompanyHeroes2.org website asking how could he improve his Soviet-based play. Best way for me to explain it is basically through a cast. So let's go ahead and see what he could do better. First things first, I would say replace the reload bulletin with the cooldowns and cooldown like the gold officer training one. Just because cooldown is much better than reload. You got these Student Pioneers. However, the Student Pioneers only has one man firing, so he has a little bit of a lucky break right there. It does get quite a bit of good about damage onto it with the reinforcing conscripts. Just a very unlucky placement with the OKW player. We do got another squad of conscripts coming on out. If it's going to go for a conscript-based play, I would advise getting perhaps Molotovs sooner rather than later. Molotovs really do help out, especially in this city center. People think OKW grenades are bad. Molotovs can be almost just as bad. Molotovs, of course, are cheaper at, what, 15 munitions? Yes, versus the Volks Grenadiers, what, 25 munitions for the grenade? Here we go. 30 munitions, actually. Molotovs can be even worse. You can spam them out twice as often, just have a long startup time. Produces all these buildings. Could go and yeah, he is sending his combat. Oh, another squad of conscripts over there. Capture up the left side. Always good for additional resources. Never neglect even the neutral of these the standard points, because they really do pan out in the long run with resources more often than actually designated fuel points. They give you both munitions and fuel. Nothing specific, but generalist. Nice little swap out right there. Not exactly the greatest building with only 3 windows there, but I suppose best position for them versus Student Pioneers. Oh, on the bright side with these Volks Grenadiers, now they can make use of more windows. But of course it means they're getting shot at by a bunch more enemies, which not exactly the most effective engagement for him. He's actually stalling his opponent for quite some time, allowing him to capture up more and more territory. His opponent has gone for a Kuppelwagen, which is great for capturing territory as well. We got what's left this conscript squad here. Won't be able to do all too much. Kuppelwagen is just very effective, and he's actually firing at the maximum range, while there's only a couple of his own models firing. The squad is definitely low on health. He's definitely wanting to get. He is definitely going for the medical HQ, which he really does need that to heal up. That squad cannot go back in combat and be expected to fight reasonably. He has gotten 2 combat engineers, so upgrading with the flamers would be a good idea to help clear up the garrisons. This map is very different in fact that it has one parts greatly urbanized, great for close range combats, great for flamers, great for Molotovs, incendiary grenades, and grenades, so on and so forth. But this area is very large and wide, meaning good for our LMGs, units who fight good at long range, as well as some other things. So Austere would do quite well over here. They also have the MG42, help secure large areas, but the MG42 is also effective over here. What doctrines? I probably should mention. Guard motor, 120mm mortar will always be effective on this map. This can be effective also. KV2 can be decent, as well as KV8 for clearing out garrisons. Repair stations if you don't go Molotov crazy is also a good idea. As well as Unleashed. Dishka is always reasonable. M4C, they don't have exactly the greatest arm penetration compared to other counterparts, because they don't get any arm penetration through Veteran C. It can be so good nonetheless. You got Infected Flamer, very nice. Soviets as most people know, they are the munitions floater faction. So here's a little bit, little tactic I love to do if I'm playing as a doctrine of munitions floating. 1. Flare mines. Spam them everywhere. If they're not doing anything, they're not laying down flare mines. Let them lay down as many flare mines as they want. You got a shoe mine here, which it's a very dangerous spot. Boom. It only gets one model. Didn't do much suppression, but do got very good engagement with the flavor. These guys are very bulked up, and the garrison's not good for them either. We'll get one lucky last shot there as well. Very nice. Do got medical HQ coming, well, up, but hasn't got the medical mix up, but we do in fact see that flak half track. You got the medical packages dropped on down. Do got a Maxim. Maxim's a little bit underperforming at the moment, but can be good nonetheless. We do got incendiary grenades out on the field, so those are going to be very prevalent. Incendiary grenade out before the Maxim started firing. We got the flak half track moving forward. You will need to research AT grenades in order to deal with this right. Oh, he may in fact lose that squad. No, he does not. The squad will get pinned down as well. Flak half track is actually vulnerable to rifle fire, so you can take it on with rifle fire, or at least warded away. It's not like the greatest versus garrisons as well, but of course, just a dodging fire like that also is very good. We got a Zis coming on out, very necessary, very good idea. It looks like this area has been largely secured up, and in fact entirely secured up. So sending out a couple units over there just to harass it, get some resources back wouldn't be a half bad idea. In fact, going a single unit here to cut it off is also another good idea. Just here AT grenades, yes we do. Not a whole lot of munitions float at the moment after getting a Minesweeper and Flamer, but now we can start seeing some of that munitions usage. Do we have any doctrines for munitions sinks? Sort of allied air supply, but most can just get shot down anyways. And repair station, that's pretty much it. So I would recommend, like this conscript squad here, he could easily lay down a flare mine here and there when he's not getting shot at. This is not moving forward, but a little bit oversight. Moving a bit too far forward. There's a line of sight blocker here, so it's actually a bit hard to take on vehicles at long range. The flamer there would make it displace the squad quite effectively. Maxim does have, in fact, have an arm penetrator greater than 1. And do got a nice hit there. Do got an AT grenade. Oh, nope. Did not get an AT grenade off. Force fire on the ground. Good try. Run straight into an MG34, so his opponent was well planning on a retreat. Emergency fallback. Most people will think they could just invest all the munitions into demo charges. Well, overall, your munitions will probably be more effective just laying down flare mines. Since one flare mine costs 10 munitions, takes out one model. It's simple enough. Demo charge may take out one squad, may, but of course it's a bit assholish if you do actually take out one. But if you just whittle away one by one, it's actually just as effective and cheaper. It can be placed by conscripts. Ooh, he could actually take that out. I believe the AT grenade is just enough. He is going to throw it. Oh, he needs some gunshots, but gets pinned. He just needs some gunshots onto it. He may take it out with the combat engineer. He actually merged squad. In fact, he did take it out. The Flamer managed to get a penetrating hit on as well. Flamer got a penetrating hit. What is the penetration rate of a Flamer? I actually have my modding tools. The penetration rate of the Soviet flamethrower is 2.5. So it actually has better penetration rate versus other than buildings as well. So he got a little bit of lucky penetration there, but it's luckier to get the penetration from that than with regular rifle fire. The maximum side this building can actually range these buildings here, so it's not half bad idea to even just garrison up at this point, but he is getting hit and going to be forced back shortly. He only has one model. Engineers heading along the side trying to capture up this Kugelwagen being problematic. Kugelwagen has 5 armor, I believe, making it very resilient to rifle fire. Of course, not invulnerable. You've got a half-track coming on out. Half-track is another good munition sink, or we could use it for reinforcement. Either are a good possibility. People underestimate the power of reinforcement half-tracks. Very good use of the flamethrower inside the building, which will allow him to burn this squad as well. And he will snag the building, but he will get displaced quite easily. There's a lot of STG fire here. Ooh, he may still lose it. No, he will manage to get out. And will be forced back, only having a couple of sectors left to his name. The half-track, I believe, it is 100 munitions, so he could just... Oh no, he needs entire minutes worth of munitions in order to get the upgrade now, because he has literally no point in supply. The flamer could go ahead and jump on the back of that, burning it. We do look like we will in fact see a Panzerfaust ×2, but I think it will take 3 to take it out. But he can, his opponent can waste munitions all he wants. He can just fall that back and get it repaired. You got MG34 in this very far forward building, but the Soviet player still claims this VP here. So the game will go on still for quite some time, even though losing all this ground. And that means all this ground can be reclaimed. Nothing's over here in the garden left side. You got the Flak HQ, the Sure Panzer headquarters now going on up, which will protect this point. It's in a very good defensive spot, not too far forward. I've always hated people that put the HQs too far forward and makes them too vulnerable. While a little bit in the wide open area, but can easily be covered with these nearby garrisons, as well as some good cover points through the War First for vehicle assault, and like will be in on the back side to hit any weapon teams are trying to hit it.
The command vehicle has gone static. HQ operations now underway. This is it.
Shoe mines coming on down. What do we see? We see, of course, Tier 3, far from field for getting anything else. Got a mass retreat. Oh, it must have been the nice suppression from here. The unit for suppression is very iffy now. It was nerfed because it was overpowered in damage and suppression, but now it's probably in a very good state. Do have a sweep of this mine that's very good. Looks like it's going to force fire it. It is a possibility, but it does have a bit of armor, so gunfire is a bit not as good. You can always send a mortar onto it.
Combat unit ready.
You have some Obstdotsen now coming on out. Neither side has selected a doctrine. You have the special weapons, scavenge, and breakthrough. What would I go for? He has Obstdotsen, so perhaps special weapons. It's some infrared STGs. He's currently... There we go. He blew it up when his unit was on top of it. Got the barbed wire coming up, granting access only to available to the OKW player until that wire is removed. You got these Volksgrenadier moving on forward. You got the Kenworth now setting on up. It does use the overdrive or a step on it. It is overdrive. Oh, I thought that disabled the weapon. Lots and well as Student Pioneers move forward, displaces the weapon teams. Will be forced back into the AA half track. Volkswagen will not win out against an AA half track. That will just get ripped apart in shreds. Very, very bold. He will displace the lag, but he's trying to run into the cover of the Flak HQ. Very good position idea in order to run to that, because that will definitely push away the AA half track. Most likely, it does have suspected the Flak half track is there as well. He is heading for the cutoff point, which will deny the resources. He definitely spotted the Flak HQ now. And the Panzer IV is almost complete. The Panzer IV would be incredibly powerful at this point in the game. Only the AA half track is a vehicle for his opponent. These units starting to approach. He needs to get this Flak half track, not a Flak half track, AA half track away so he doesn't get snared. He's been doing a good job of spending some munitions. He's still only at 100, and that's dead. You got the Panzer IV now out using the Valkyria Chronicles skin. An unlucky bounce on the Zis, meaning the engine won't be snared by the AT grenade. These units are way too bunched up. The lag is going to do massive damage to it. He hasn't reclaimed this VP, so both VPs are in favor of the Soviet player. Well, two VPs are in favor of the Soviet player, counting down in his favor.
Supply sector under attack. Su-76 ready.
Get behind the building, this outhouse, thinking the crap will shoo away the Axis units. There's a shoe mine here, maybe something to note. Panzer IV now moving on forward. The Zis does get a good penetrating hit. You got double Ura forward, trying to get one of the AT grenades off. Looks like he will manage to get an AT grenade off, which will snare the engine. However, you will not be able to kill it off. He did get an Su-76, which he will be able to poke in some more damage. Will roll and miss. There's a Afghan warfare here to defend. And he probably does know about there is a Afghan warfare in the area because he lost his AA half track thanks to a part of it. Will destroy the wire. He will allow some access to the garrison as well as moving forward through that direction. Ooh, but he needs to stop hitting his own units. You got an incendiary grenade coming on out. The cannon warfare is now a little out of position. Panzer IV rolls a miss. Well, it hits the conscript anyways. Looks like the conscripts will actually lose this engagement. There's a lot of STGs in the area. You got the cannon warfare. Does get decrewed. Did get one hit. This Panzer IV may be down to one shot. Now it's down to one shot, definitely. Panzer IV needs to get 2 shots hit the Su-76. But I think it's just out of range. Su-76, I believe, has more range. And there goes the Panzer IV. Zis was also there to support. So most likely the Panzer IV is going down. Over here, you got MG34 team capturing up the fuel VP as well, that standard point. Losing that cannon warfare and Panzer IV is a big swing in favor of the Soviet player, though he still has a significant fuel deficit. I know why he went for this. Well, 120mm mortar is good as well, but I'm pretty sure he went for the marked target. He's going to have to make do with a second Su-76. He will not be able, realistically, to get anything heavier than Su-76 in this game, due to the fact how starved he is on fuel. Though Su-76 are quite good, he will get a very good hit right there. This 120mm mortar will help claim the area around the city. And there's a triple cap in favor of the OKW player. 200mm mortar, maybe iron the counter barrage. Yes, he's initiating a barrage attack onto the lag. I'm guessing he's barraging the lag, but he will displace it in time. Does get a very good damaging hit there.
120mm mortars are now available for deployment.
We'll spot these mines here. Wait. Squad had a flamer, didn't it? Lost a flamer? How did he lose the flamer? He's at Veteran C3. There's no way that a combat engineer without a flamer can get to a Veteran C3 easy. He must have got shot off. Like upon retreating, you can actually lose the slot flamer sometimes and still be alive. Perhaps maybe that's what happened. I'm not sure how he lost the flamer. He doesn't have any other slot weapons. We will see a bundle grenade, good forcing these guys out of cover. Maximum will be forced back, the incendiary grenade is burning it out. This is 76, maybe eyeing for a barrage, not repaired up. We do in fact have infrared STG-44s, we do in fact have special weapons operation. Alright, one shot, rolled a miss. Ooh, Maxim didn't retreat out, just made it get out, and that losing Maxim is actually a bit problematic. Is he going to capture it or is he going to salvage it? He is going to capture it. I hear a T-70, unusual option, but maybe reasonable. Denied the capture of the Maxim. But looks like you're rolling a couple misses there. T-70, a very desperate option. I would have said another SF-76 would be a much better option in order for AT. He has plenty of anti-infantry assets through the mortars, through the infantry. Does it really need a T-70? Literally no. Oh, he saw the infrared STGs, so he knows his opponent went for special weapons. Ooh, did not actually decapture all the way, but it's kind of cut off, so he won't be using the munitions at the moment. Though guards are a good munition sink, getting the DPs. Overall, while I said you should invest flare mines with his conscripts everywhere, that's only if you don't have munition sink. So overall, I would say this is a good idea, not spamming munitions everywhere. He's been making good use of it without needing to spam them out everywhere. Man, Panther's now out on the field, not getting the Pinnacle Mountain. The Pinnacle Mountain will be great for just passively taking on the infantry when nearby. Ooh, that's a very good hit. T-70's not falling back at the moment. T-76 trying to engage, but ooh, getting nice side armor hit with the Zis. Being knocking it down to half health. That's very good. That would push it off on the back line for a bit of time. Storm Pioneers do, of course, have the hazard removal, so they will have the increased repair rates. But only for a short while until that gets fully repaired. The Sheriff Panzer Quarters now getting sieged thanks to the Zis barrage. Is the Zis gun force firing the ground? I think so, which is now doing a significant amount of damage to his HQ. Actually, he's using the barrage mode. You can just force fire the ground, but there's stuff in the way, so force firing the ground won't exactly be good. Won't always hit, but you can always let the S-76 get some hits with the barrage, and then use it while it's briefly revealed the fire. You got infiltration grenades coming out by the Ozadots, and you don't usually see them all often being thrown. I'm talking about by the old slots, and you usually see that thrown all the time with Volks. And Panther's now fully repaired, still no Pinto mount. If he wants to make sure this squad stays in the front line for an extended amount of time, he could always merge onto it. These Volks Grenadiers are definitely going to throw some grenades onto the... Nope, managed to gun it down before then. He's still skirting around the lines. Command Panther's eyeing to engage, but we may see, in fact, the snare. We'll get a penetrating hit, then the snare will come through. Do see a snare onto the Su-76, but the Volksgrenadier needs to get out of here. They may still get gunned down by the T-70. We got the conscripts moving forward, wolf spotting, trying to gun down the Volksgrenadier. Rolling some misses, however. Building will get destroyed in time, but will get destroyed by the 120mm mortar, but the MG team will get out in time. We got the captured maximum over here, as well as the Ken Warfare, and these unit points once again secured up. The Soviet player is running very low on VPs, but we'll see a Panzerfaust. It just got a little bit too close, and then boom, Panzerfaust. The Veteran C3 conscripts are very effective. Once conscripts of the Veteran C3, they're actually quite effective. We do got a nice suppression here by... we will see, in fact, the bundle grenade. No! Frangible smoke grenade onto the building. A nice barrage there by the Su-76, granting its third star of veterancy, which increases the rate of fire. And the sight of the main gun, so I think it will fire the gun sooner rather than later when given a target to fire at.
We need to re-establish our supply lines.
The OKW player doesn't really have all too many options. He has rebought an HQ. Oh, receiving the buff from the Command Panther. Inspiring that half-track to fight harder. And once again, another Panzerfaust comes forward, which actually has just been draining his opponent of his munitions. Haven't been making use of this flare artillery. Command Panther now fully repaired. Guards are currently suppressed from the MG team. There's two mortar teams to displace the MG team. Let's see some trading hits from the guards at PTRSs in order to allow for a snare, but this looks like he's getting all too lucky. I do believe they do 50% deflection damage. They're reasonable versus tank heavier armor now. We'll see a Panzerfaust onto the Su-76, as well as a bundle grenade onto the mortar team, wiping it out. That was a very bedded up mortar team. Conscripts will be forced back. Another squad, another Su-76 coming out. Very necessary to deal with the Command Panther. T-70 coming on forward, which will help spot for the T-76s, or Su-76s. Main gun destroyed. Holy crap, I didn't realize there was that much damage coming upon it. This is doing quite a bit of damage. You could try running it down, but that's very dangerous. He doesn't really have anything to really do that all too well. Incendiary grenade will displace the Maxim team. Overall, he's been making good use of his munitions. I haven't really seen all too much what he's actually has been spending on. But if they're being spent, that is good. The guards still do not have DPs? It's a bit unusual. DPs really do help the anti-infantry. He's going to be destroying the lag. Very good option. That one to the right actually managed to land a hit. No, it does not. The one on the right just kept on missing while the one on the left kept on doing all the work. The one on the right is also the veteran one. Eventually.
Our territory is falling into enemy hands.
A large blob over here, but both sides are very congested at the moment. You see it pop out of the conscript in order to near the engine, but he does not. Sim6 is now running forward, but we'll see a Faust or perhaps two. This one's very low on health. Did not get the Faust off. Both of them will be falling back. Oh, but it looks like he may have hit an anti-tank mine. You see a barrage trying to hit their squads on retreat. Ooh, the squad may in fact go down to the conscripts, but there's only 2 windows there to really engage. Could see another SU-76 or another 120 millimeter mortar. For some other reason, that's always a bit of a tongue twister for me. 120 millimeter mortar. Mortar. Millimeter mortar. I'm not sure why. 120 millimeter mortar. That's some other reason tongue twister for me. He has reclaimed this mortar team, but that's a little bit too far forward. He could just go ahead and start barraging the area, perhaps. Yes, he is going to barrage the area. Very risky, but could be quite effective. This mortar's at Veteran C2, which I'll need. Oh, this could be devastating. Oh, no, it missed. At Veteran C2, most times this stuff gets reduced scatter, shell accuracy, and rate of fire. And just now actually salvaging the flak half track? I think just now realized it. Our artillery did in fact come down, so he knows where his opponents are at. Those mortars are going to be problematic for if he does not attack. So it will just rain death on wherever they're standing still. The Veteran C2, I believe it gains increased suppression. Yes. Now it becomes an actual good suppression platform. You got a fuel expenditure. It looks like he is up, picking up. I suppose now would probably be a good time for teching up. He knows he destroyed the Shira Panzer quarters, and he knows his opponent only has a Command Panther at the moment, though he has built a mechanized HQ, which he could get a couple Panthers, but I think he may be saving up for a King Tiger. If I remember correctly, you can't get the King Tiger and the Command Panther together anymore. A Panzerfaust will in fact come through onto the veteran one. That is actually the important one. The other one could stand and fight and draw at least a couple more shots, but too late. That bottom grenade wouldn't do all too much. That squad is very spread out. I mean, no, definitely worth to note is the Soviet player only has 63 VPs, and their opponent has 372. While there is a cap in favor of the Soviet player, still quite a bit of VP difference. Losing that Veteran C3 SU-76 is actually quite important. Hopefully he will replace it with SU-85. As I know his opponent, the OKW player, is saving up resources for the King Tiger, and he may be sort of aware of it or not. And Panther's now moving forward, but the S76 must stay at maximum range. We will see a mortar onto the 120mm mortar, but the crew's quite spread out, but the guards walk straight into it.
We have lost the machine gun crew.
T-70 will get a penetrating hit onto the rear armor of the Command Panther. Command Panther not really getting good hits. Oh, finally got a hit on. 120mm mortar may in fact get decrewed. That would be very problematic. That is an excellent platform, but he will in fact get decrewed. It can be reclaimed. That veterancy is actually quite important. Ooh, SSM-6 going way too far forward. The Command Panther is going to be engaging it. Only can withstand one more shot right now. T-70 could go in forward and draw some fire, but it's going to be hit by infantry and Pasquini Panzerfaust there. This has been set up, but did not fire. Ooh, just barely gets a miss there. SSM-6 may get another shot off. No, it would not. This now lining up a shot. But no, not getting the shot off. The Imperial Mount can whittle away the crew members. Set up preemptively, but now he's just going to focus fire it. Conscripts could go for a snare. We do got marked target coming on in, but the team will get decrewed. We got a T-34-76 now coming onto the line. Conscripts could oor forward to get a snare in. T-70 is going to engage. Mark target is on. He's going to try to circle around. You received a hit of his own. Now starts spinning around. I think AT grenade may in fact finish it off. No, it needs one more AT grenade. But this conscript's at full health. This infantry needs to start hitting that conscript squad. Next AT grenade is death. He needs to start walking forward. All the infantry is going to be shooting at him now. And oh! You can call in another Command Panther and repair that one up and have two Command Panthers out in the field.
Brave infantry have made the ultimate sacrifice. We are losing territory.
Panzerfaust coming forward, but will not snare the engine, but this one will. Rolls a bounce onto it.
From our grasp. We have only 50 points remaining.
There's a snare. Trying to hit the Volksgrenadiers now. The VPs are going down in favor of the OKW player. Oh, he got the King Tiger. That's what it was going for. I still wanted to see two. I wanted to see two Command Panthers. And that King Tiger is going to spell GG. He does not have any Su-85s to deal with it. This T-34-76 is dead.
We have lost one of our armored vehicles.
And this is pretty much the end of the replay. But I really wanted to see two Command Panthers. OKW, with the STGs, are poorly implemented. Conscripts just can't fight against STG Volks. They just cannot. You have to go for penals, really. If you're fighting against OKW, you really just have to go for penals or guards. Go for early guards. It's not an easy option. I have created multiple mods before trying to balance it out. You did actually quite well.
We are down to our last 25 points.
The problem is Volks, STG Volks. The STG upgrade is poorly implemented. It just adds too much damage, too much range damage, too much close damage, an upgrade they really don't need before their Stars of Veterancy. Huns are actually really good. It's just that conscripts are are good, but you need to make you must have a lot of munitions to sink into Molotovs. EBSHs still actually have trouble versus STG Volks, believe it or not. He got a bit unlucky with a couple of those. Yeah, he really didn't have the field control. That is true. He didn't really have the field control, but facing against OKW of Soviets is really hard. Lost here, it's balanced. T70 was unique as well. But either way, this is Agion saying thank you for watching and signing off.